Inside you, right this very second, there's a superhighway. It's more complex, more efficient than any road system on Earth. It's your circulatory system. And honestly, it's one of the most amazing pieces of engineering in the universe. So let's take a closer look.
But before we dive into all the gears and pipes, I want to start somewhere a little different, somewhere we can all relate to. Let's talk about the heart. Not just as a muscle, but as the place where we feel our deepest emotions.
I mean, we all know the phrase, right? A broken heart. Many of us have felt that deep, physical ache in your chest. But is it just a saying? A metaphor for feeling sad? Or is there something real, something scientific, connecting our feelings to that organ beating in our chest?
Well, it turns out it is absolutely real. There's a documented medical condition called broken heart syndrome. What happens is intense emotional stress, like from grief or a huge shock, can literally cause a part of your heart muscle to get weak and even change its shape for a while. It's just this incredible reminder that our emotions and our physical bodies are not separate things at all. They're completely connected. So, knowing the heart is that tuned into our feelings, let's switch gears and look at the unbelievable logistical problem it has to solve. We're talking second by second for your entire life.
Just look at that number, $100 trillion. It's a number so big, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around it. So what in the world does this have to do with you?
Well, that's roughly how many individual, living cells make you, you. Think about it like you're a walking city with a population of 100 trillion, and every single one of those citizens needs constant supplies, oxygen, food, and they all need their trash taken out 24/7, nonstop.
So here's the big question, right? How on earth do you manage a city that massive? How do you keep every single one of those 100 trillion citizens alive and working? You're going to need a system that's beyond efficient, beyond reliable.
And the body's answer to this massive challenge is actually pretty elegant. It's a three-part solution that works together perfectly. We call it the circulatory system.
To make it super simple, we can break this whole thing down into three basic ideas. You've got the pump, which is the engine driving everything. You've got the roads, which is the network that goes everywhere. And you've got the cargo, which is all the important stuff being delivered.
And here's how it all fits together. Your heart, of course, that's the powerful pump. The huge network of blood vessels, all your arteries and veins, those are the roads. And the blood itself, that's the precious cargo, carrying oxygen, nutrients, and everything else. Okay, so now that we have the basic map, let's zoom in a little. The actual numbers behind this machine are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing. Let's start with the pump. Every single day, your heart moves about 7,500 liters of blood. To give you some perspective, that's like filling up the gas tanks of 150 cars every single day. And to do that, it beats around 100,000 times a day. And the craziest part? You never have to think about it. It just works, tirelessly, from before you were even born to your last moment. So what about the roads? Well, if you could take all the blood vessels in your body and lay them end to end, they would stretch for nearly 100,000 miles. That's enough to go around the entire planet Earth about 4 times. Just incredible. You know that classic lub-dub sound of a heartbeat? Ever wonder what's actually making that noise? It's not the muscle squeezing. It's the sound of little doors, your heart valves, snapping shut. The lub is one set of valves closing, and the dub is a different set closing right after. It's a perfect little mechanical rhythm.
Okay, so let's talk about the roads themselves. Think of it this way. Arteries are the big highways carrying the fresh, oxygen-filled blood away from the heart. Veins are the routes that bring the used, deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And the capillaries? They're like the tiny little side streets where the actual deliveries happen, dropping off oxygen to every single house or cell along the way.
So what about the cargo itself, the blood? It's way more than just red liquid. It's a living tissue. A little over half of it is this yellowish liquid called plasma. And the other 45%? That's a whole crew of specialized cells, and each one has a really important job. And here's that crew. You've got your red blood cells, they're the delivery trucks for oxygen. Then you've got your white blood cells, that's your body's security force, its army, fighting off any invaders. And finally, you have platelets. They're the emergency road crew, rushing to fix any leaks or damage in the system. Now, most of the time, this whole system just runs in the background perfectly.
But because it's so complex and it never stops working, it's really important to know what happens when things go wrong.
Okay, this is something a lot of people mix up, but the difference is critical. A heart attack is a plumbing problem. Think of it like a clogged pipe. A blockage in an artery stops blood flow. Cardiac arrest, on the other hand, is an electrical problem. The heart's internal wiring goes haywire, and it just stops pumping right.
And besides those two big ones, the system can run into other issues. A stroke is basically a brain attack, where a blood vessel in the brain gets blocked or bursts. And hypertension is just the medical term for high blood pressure, which puts extra strain on the whole superhighway, day in and day out.
So let's just bring this all home. As you're sitting here listening to this, that whole system is just working. A pump the size of your fist is powering a 100,000-mile highway system to keep a city of 100 trillion alive. It really is a silent, constant miracle happening inside you right now. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The circulatory system is just one piece of the puzzle. What other amazing, unbelievably complex systems are working away inside you, keeping you going, without you ever having to give them a single thought?